Hi, it's David Heatley here. Now I'm with Bruce Halket and we're going to have a bit of a chat about the 7 Peaks in 7 days. Now it's a brand new event that we've put on the calendar. We're going to be running it from the 25th to the 31st of March. But before I get into the actual event itself, I wanted to talk a little bit to Bruce about your experience and the actual ride itself. So Bruce, look, we'll start off. You've been running events like this. Well, not like this, but you have been running events. You're no stranger to running events, are you?
No, I wouldn't say that I'm a stranger to events. In conjunction with another bloke from here in Mansfield, we ran the High Country Cycle Challenge for a long time. So I think Steve and I ran it for about 5 years, and then I bought it from him and I ran it on my own for the next few.
Tell us about the High Country Challenge. What sort of...
It was a recreational ride, a recreational road ride. It sort of evolved over time. It started as a 2-day ride initially, 3 stages over 2 days, and eventually made it more difficult, made it longer and more difficult, and condensed down into 1 day in the end. But yeah, really good fun ride, really good fun organising the event and seeing so many people riding their bikes, especially filling up the main street of Mansfield on a Saturday morning starting the ride was just a sensational feeling. It was great.
And you had hundreds of people.
Oh yeah, hundreds. I think the highest we ever had actually was about 1,000. So it's not round the bay or the Peaks Challenge, but that was its appeal. The fact that it didn't have several thousand people, it only had a few hundred up to 1,000, and so Mansfield sort of really embraced that. Climbing Buller was a great weekend. We really had a lot of fun. It's good.
Awesome. Now the 7 Peaks in 7 days, it's a ride that you've done. And I remember when I first arrived in Mansfield, you were talking about the 7 Peaks in 7 days thing. And it came about, I suppose, where it initiated from, and I'm kind of guessing here, but there was somebody that put together the 7 Peaks in 7 days to promote the regional area. Well, tell me a little bit about the history around that.
The Alpine Ascent Challenge was put together by the marketing manager up at Mount Buller many years ago as a way to try and attract visitors to each of the 7 peaks, each of the 7 Victorian Alpine peaks. Jeff, if you're watching, hello.
Fantastic.
And then a couple of mates of mine put together a slightly different variety of ride, 7 Peaks in 7 days. Jezza and Rod, if you're watching, g'day. They were both planning to do the Tour of Bright, which is held at Bright in early December.
Yes, I know the race myself, ridden and raced it myself.
Yeah, fair enough, me too, but with varying success. And so Jez and Rod came up with an idea to put together the 7 Peaks in 7 days as a training block for the Tour of Bright. So it was initially planned to do it in late October or early November. I think it was just after Cup weekend we did it the first time. And we actually ran it a few times. And so we've sort of got it down pat. We know where we're going, we know what we're doing. It's a great week.
Fantastic. So 7 Peaks in 7 days. It's great, Bruce, as you mentioned, for training up for something like the Tour of Bright, but also if you're training up for maybe something in Europe, because it's really the closest thing that we've got here in Australia to a European tour, isn't it?
Yeah, I would guess so, yeah. I've only done a little bit of riding in Europe. I wish I'd done 7 Peaks in 7 days before I'd gone, because I have to go back to Italy to go and ride the Gavia because I wasn't strong enough to finish it, so I need to go back, so I need to go and do a week like this and then go back and try it again.
Fantastic, all right. So 7 Peaks in 7 days, the climbs. Let's talk about the climbs.
Sure.
Now I've got some stats down here, so we'll start off in no particular order. We'll start off with Mount Bora. Now I've only ridden up Mount Bora a few times, but it's only when I've raced up there. Oof. It's a nasty climb, isn't it?
It is nasty. I haven't raced, and I don't know if I'm ever going to race up Mount Bora. It's not my type of race, but it's a really good, challenging climb. Yep. It's fairly steep. The intriguing part about Bora is as you go around some of the bends, you sort of just assume that when you climb a hill, you go around a bend, eventually it'll start to taper off a bit, and you'll see a bit of a
lull.
Yeah, exactly. But Bora doesn't do that. Every time you go around a bend, it just gets just as steep. It just keeps going further and further.
It's like climbing up a wall, really, with a few corners.
Yes.
Yeah. Now I've got here stats 6.4 kilometres long, so it's not really a long climb.
No.
Still Category 1 climb here in Australia. In that 6.4 kilometres, you climb 741 metres. Yep.
Yeah.
11% average gradient. So quite nasty.
Yep.
Quite nasty.
Well, like I said, A lot of ball depends on gearing though, doesn't it? If you get your bike in the right gear and you get yourself in the right rhythm, it's actually not that bad.
Yeah.
And the change in technology in bikes in the last few years with compact cranksets and that sort of thing, it's certainly achievable nowadays. Whereas I think the first time I did it was with a 39-25 or something, and I really struggled.
Yeah, nasty. But put a compact crankset on, 36, and a 28 or a 32, and it just makes it a lot easier. Yep. So Mount Baw, fairly nasty. All right, so Mount Buffalo. Well, Mount Buffalo's local, isn't it? No, it's not.
No, not here.
I'm thinking about Buller.
Yep.
Mount Buffalo is actually one of my favourite climbs in the Bright region, and for a couple of reasons. One is it's, they say it's 23 kilometres long, but the climb itself, that's up to Dingo Dell.
Yeah, right.
Which is where the stave finishes. I know the main climb's only 17k, and then you go down a bit, and then you climb back up.
That's up to Dingo Dell, yeah.
So,
and they don't stamp your passport there anymore, apparently. Apparently we go to the Rangers office, so we save ourselves a couple of kilometres there.
Oh, really? So we don't actually have to do it. Fantastic. The whole thing, right. So 1,100 vertical metres, and average gradient, it says 5. So it's about 5 to 6%, and it's really nice drag. It's a little bit steep at the beginning, a little bit steep, and then it flattens out to a nice gradient. It's fairly steady all the way up.
Yep.
Beautiful scenery.
Yeah, gorgeous.
Yeah, and it's my favourite climb in the area. When we run our boot camp up there, I love doing Buffalo. Buffalo.
Yeah, it's a really good descent too.
Oh, and it is a great descent.
It's a great descent.
Yeah. All right, Mount Buller. Now this one, what I got confused. Now that's local here.
Yeah, it is.
Very, very similar to
Buffalo.
Buffalo.
Yeah, a similar distance. It's 16 k's up Buller, and the gradient's very similar.
Yep.
If anything, the Buller climb probably isn't quite as scenic as Buffalo, but it's got a sting in the tail Buller because the last kilometre and a half or so is a little bit steeper. So if you use too many of your bickies in the first 14 k's or so, the last couple of k's will bite you on the bum.
Yeah, exactly. Now, I quite like it. It's scenic. I think it's quite scenic.
Yeah.
And there's a section of it where you can actually look down the road and see all the switchbacks.
Yeah, that's great.
Which is fantastic.
It is. It's really good.
I like that. But yeah, you're right. When you get towards the top, it gets a little bit nasty. Again, 15k, 921 metres, and an average of 6%. So great climb. All right, dinner plane.
Dinner plane's really deceiving because it's not known as one of the classic climbs, if you like, but it's not easy either. There's a couple of really good sections that are really memorable on the dinner plane climb. Only about, I think it'd be about 10 k's, maybe only 7 k's out of Omeo. There's a really fantastic little lookout that it's worth stopping for on the right hand side. You can actually see Mount Kosciuszko in the distance.
Beautiful.
And you go on from there. There's a lovely little view you get when you go through Kabungra Station. You can see the road off in the distance, and it's a really beautiful scenic spot. There's a sting in the tail nearby though. There's a historic area called Victoria River, I think it is.
Okay, Victoria River.
As you head towards that, the road looks like a mini Baw suddenly. There's a wall in front of you of bitumen, and it just goes straight up, and that can be fairly intimidating. But once you do get over that, you get up onto the plateau up near the airport and up towards the inner plain, and it's really lovely country. It's great.
Fantastic. I've actually never ridden it. I've ridden down it. I haven't ridden up it.
Okay.
So here it says it's 42.7 kilometres long.
Yep. There's a little bit of descending in that. It's not all climbing.
Okay. All right. 943 vertical metres.
Yep.
So, and 2% gradient. So it's obviously fairly...
like I said, there's a bit of descending within that.
Yeah. Fantastic. All right. Falls Creek.
Yeah. Good climb.
Falls Creek's fantastic.
It is a good climb.
We do it as part of boot camp.
Oh, of course. Yep.
I've ridden up it that many times I've lost count. Out of all the climbs, it's my second most favourite.
Yeah, right on.
In the area, Falls Creek's nice. It's quite pleasant. You kind of gently ease into it.
Yeah.
At the beginning, after you come out of Mount Beauty, you climb up fairly steady, and then you've got a little bit of up and down until you get to Bogon Village.
Yep.
And then really you're fairly steady from there on up. There's a big switchback in it that's about roughly, don't quote me on it, about 6k.
Mm-hmm. That's where they see the big pipe from the power station?
Yep, you can see the big pipe from the power station. And then when you get up, you come around where you go through the toll gates, you just ride up a little bit further, and then you can see the village.
Yeah.
But then it just feels like forever getting there because it actually gets steeper.
Yeah, it's true, it does.
You're like, oh, geez, I'm almost here. And then, another 20 minutes later, you're like,
Yeah, it's good though, but as you say, you can see the village, and you can say, I guess the excitement gets a better of you. You can actually feel yourself accelerating as you get closer because you know you're nearly there. No, it's a good climb.
It gets pretty steep, but the great thing about that one, 30 kilometres long, 1,100 vertical metres, average of 4% gradient. But there are a couple of steep sections, but not very steep. You know,
not ball steep. No.
Yeah, not ball steep. All right, so Mount Hotham. My least favourite climb in the area.
Yeah, I understand.
Mount Hotham. So, look, I remember the first time I rode up Mount Hotham, and you know, I really like climbing hills, and I remember getting halfway up it, and I was just thinking, what was I thinking? You know, like I was thinking, what was I thinking? You know, what was I thinking climbing this climb? It was a hot day. I didn't have my proper sunglasses on. Didn't have, you know, real shade, and sweat off me, and it just got a bit nasty, really. But Mount Hotham's a great climb when you're fit. That's what I like to say about Hotham.
Yep.
So Hotham, you kind of come out of Harrietville, you get onto it. It's fairly steep at the beginning, and it kind of steepens up until you get past the Meg, right? And the Meg's a kind of a steep ramp, about 300, maybe 400 metres long.
Yeah, it's not long.
Come around and switch back. You're on it. Most people have to stand up, but it's okay. And then once you go on there, you're kind of on the plateau, and you're really on a sort of 2 to 3% drag up until you get the toll gates.
Yeah, that's right.
It's really quite nice. It used to have a lot more forest in it, but they had some big fires go through a couple of years ago, and it's quite barren through that section. But still, a lot of the growth is coming back. And then
it's getting better.
Get to the toll gates, and then it's like all hell is let loose. It ramps up. You go across the plateau. You ramp up more. You go through CRB or
CRB Hill, yep.
CRB Hill, which a lot of people really dread, but it's like a kilometre long, and it just kind of goes up like this, and it's straight. Go around the corner, you descend a bit.
Yeah, that's right.
And then you lose a whole lot of altitude, and then you start again. It's like, you know, it's like the climb that just keeps on giving, really.
Yep.
And then it steadily ramps up towards the top of it, and then you go and descend just very briefly down into the village.
Yeah. Oh, you're making light of it, I reckon. Because don't forget, once you descend off CRB Hill, you've got to climb up again up to Mount Blowhard.
Yeah.
And then you're up on the plateau a bit, and then you descend again, and you climb again up to Diamantina. And Diamantina is the one that gets me. When you climb CRB Hill or Blowhard, you can see the village in the distance, and you know you're at about the same height as the village. Yeah. And then you start descending, and you just know, why am I descending? I'm at the right height already. That means I've got to climb more. Yeah. So that last little climb at Diamantina has got teeth in it.
Yeah, it has. And look, it's like I say, it's a great climb if you're fit.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's a very challenging climb.
Yep. But probably the most scenic, I reckon. Once you get up that high, you can see for miles and miles. It's
if you get a good day, it's
gorgeous
fantastic.
place.
It's a beautiful climb, and you know, when you do get up to the top, it really changes into a real Australian alpine. Like I know
snow
people,
gums,
snow gums and stuff, and I know the guys that and the girls that do it on the boot camp. They can't believe how much the terrain changes once they get past the toll gates. It's just absolutely stunning. You kind of feel like you climb into this different place, really.
Yep, it's true.
Amongst all that pain. So again, you know, 30k climb, 1,300 vertical metres of climbing, and an average gradient of 4%. But don't be deceived; it's got some really nasty pieces of ramps in it. All right, Lake Mountain.
Yeah, everyone seems to think this is the easiest, but
I think it's the easiest.
The way we run 7 peaks in 7 days, we don't think it is. The actual climb, I guess it is, because Lake Mountain itself isn't as high as most of the others. It's not as steep either for most of it, but we add our own sting in the tail for 7 peaks in 7 days. And if you show interest and want to get more details about 7 peaks in 7 days, we'll let you in on a little secret about how we make it harder. It's a tough day, but it's a good climb.
Yeah. Okay, so I've actually climbed it recently, recently in the last 3 months, and it's got kind of like the first 3 or 4 Ks is kind of steep, and then
from Marysville,
from Marysville, and then it settles down into quite a nice sort of 3 and 4% gradient, basically all the way up.
And that's a really lovely climb too. It's very scenic as you get up near the plateau. And strangely, it's actually gotten more scenic since the big fires of '09, because unfortunately it cleared a lot of the vegetation, but it just does mean you actually get a good view a lot of the way up now.
Yeah, no, it's beautiful, beautiful Lake Name. There you go, the seven peaks of the 7 peaks in 7 days. Lots of sevens, so that's the climbs. Now dates, I mentioned that earlier on, the 25th to the 31st of March. This is our inaugural event. We plan to run quite a few of them.
Yeah, let's hope so.
Let's hope so, because there's been a lot of interest. And we've already got enough people to run it, and we're looking for some more people. So if you're interested, grab the details below this video. There's to be some more details about how to sign up and find out a little bit more about the event. We really look forward to you coming along to it.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. All right, well look, Bruce, thanks very much for your time.
Cheers, Dave. My pleasure. It was great fun.
Catch you later.
See you soon.